Life for me from the ages of 18 to 25 was in some sense brutal. I went to college and majored in chemistry to try to make my parents happy, but because I wasn't passionate about the subject or really just not that amazing at science, I mostly got B's and C's, and my parents found this very devastating.
What are these grades, man? Why did we conceive you?
Later on, I decided to eschew what they wanted for me in terms of my career, not apply to medical school. Instead, I moved to Los Angeles to pursue Hollywood, and I got a day job as a chemistry teacher. My pay was relatively low. The demands of the city, the hustle and bustle, was something I didn't do a good job of keeping up with. There was a lot of work, I was often financially struggling, but really most importantly, I couldn't catch a date to save my life. I guess it's a fairly common trope to be kind of miserable in your 20s, but when I was in the midst of my early 20s, I felt like I was doing everything wrong. It seemed like other people had it easier than I did, and I just would often ask myself, why am I so unhappy? Why am I struggling so much? Really, it's only been in like the last year where I feel like I have some level of clarity, some level of understanding and stability of what I'm able to accomplish in the coming years, how I can manage my finances and my relationships in a way that actually is fulfilling. And while I don't have everything figured out, far from it, these are 5 things that I wish I knew when I was 18 years old. Number 1, you can't date above your level. And I don't mean this in terms of relationships, but rather in terms of art and business. I've said this before, but when I was in Los Angeles, I would constantly be sending out emails and postcards to casting directors and agents, trying to convince them to let me get in the room. If I can just get in the room, you'll see what a great actor I am. And despite thousands of messages, postcards, really driving all around town, getting parking tickets, I didn't get anywhere. And I realized it's not because the industry had anything against me specifically, but rather because you just can't describe your potential to people and have them believe you. You have to prove your potential before anyone will take a chance to listen to you. And so it was only when I decided to spend my own money, like $1,000, to make a demo reel and showcase that to people, when I decided to take on smaller projects like theater, that I realized that there was a chance for me to be seen. In fact, it just so happened that a small play that I did ended up being seen by a very notable casting director who had me come in for a much better audition. It just goes to show the power of mini projects, the power of thinking small at first until you level up, until you're worthy of dating the people who you want to go after, the big dogs. If you're a nobody right now and you want to be an artist or a creative of some kind, don't worry about chasing after people who are like the top tier in the industry that you want to be in. Instead, focus on your craft, focus on getting better, and focus on building your own reputation with your work. Number 2, you can become more valuable, and you can become more valuable rapidly. College, I really believe now, is for suckers, unless you know exactly what you're doing. Regardless of your current financial position or what country you live in, if you have access to the internet, you have the capacity to learn skills that will make you valuable. And I only understood this on a theoretical level because I would listen to audiobooks by the likes of Brian Tracy, and he would say that self-learning, listening to audiobooks in your car or taking online classes, that's something that will make you better and will eventually make you 10 times more money. And this principle of trying to make myself more valuable in terms of the supply and demand of the world, 2 years later has made a dramatic difference in my life.
Oh, Nikhil, Dad? Why are you always doing the Skillshare, man? Do you have nothing new to talk about? Just Skillshare all the time, Skillshare. I don't know, it was either them or Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends, what is that, man? I have no idea. It's just like, it's like this terrible mobile game. What's a game? Oh, Nikhil, if you keep playing these games, you're always going to be in the shadow of a legend, bro.
Look, I know you probably saw that segue coming, but let's be real here, guys. Skillshare is freaking great, and if you don't use Skillshare, then you. Wait, can we? Skillshare is an online community with thousands of online classes. Many of the classes are just an hour long, but they can quickly help you pick up skills in film production, editing, design, photography, how to start a YouTube channel. The class and the skill that I'm currently working on is about After Effects. I just want to get really good at it so that I can do animations inside the videos. And Skillshare in no small part is the reason why the production on these videos has gotten better. My editing has gotten better. Members get unlimited access to thousands of inspiring classes with hands-on projects and feedback from a community of millions. Most classes are under 60 minutes with short lessons to fit any schedule, and the annual subscription is less than $10 per month. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description box will get 2 months of Skillshare Premium for free. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. Number 3, try to separate art from money. And here's the reason for this. When you're thinking about money, when you're thinking about security, it is very hard to be creative. Creativity comes from courage, and if you're feeling afraid, it's very hard to have that bravery in your work. I truly believe that if you want success as an artist, your personal life should be fairly calm. It should be very relaxed, very stable, at least to the degree that you're capable of doing so. And your artistry, that should be violent, that should be dangerous. That's where all the thrill should be. Keep your personal life and your routine mundane, clean, boring, so that you can exercise violence in your work. Being an artist is like being at the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's very hard to invest in your art if you're commuting 2 hours a day or you're constantly stressed about money. 2 years ago, I made the uncomfortable decision to not move back to LA, but rather to take a cubicle job in Minnesota so that I could become more valuable and become a remote digital marketer eventually. A lot of the people I talked to and spoke to said, "Does this mean that you're giving up on your dream? Why are you in this cubicle? You should be out there going on auditions." But I just knew I wanted long-term stability and a career that could span 20, 30 years. I didn't see myself sustaining that if I just went for it without having any financial foundation. If you make the choice to learn and do what's needed to make money outside of your art, at least initially, that can give you a ton of creativity and freedom where you actually get to do work on your passion project. Now, if I want to make a video with a certain illogical direction, something that doesn't make sense in terms of ease of making the video or elegance, I can still do it. I can carry a sword through the forest and that can be the video for the week. Or we're currently working on this epic Western style short film. I can go for these more dastardly projects because I'm not foremost thinking about the money of this, I'm thinking about the art. Number 4, have a set of daily disciplines. Life is full of challenge, even for people who seem like they've made it. There will be constant ups and downs. There will be times when things seriously stress you out. Your anchor through any hard time will often come from a set of daily disciplines. These will largely be individual, but trust me when I say that they can carry you through the tumultuous tides. A great way to figure these out is to think critically about what your top 3 goals might be for the next 5 years, and then decide on one habit or discipline that you would adhere to on a daily basis that would help you most go in the direction of that goal. Knowing that you planted that seed, you adhere to your daily discipline for the day will give you a personal sense of confidence. Confidence that even if things are a little bit tough right now, you can start moving in the direction of that thing you want, and things can change eventually. Number 5, hit the fundamentals. Get enough sleep, exercise, eat good food, and ideally meditate. I think a lot of people in the self-help space, we're just obsessed with the details. We're obsessed with the minutia. I want to know what productivity app Ali Abdal is using. I want to know how Thomas Frank applies a Boolean field in Notion. But really, all of that is secondary to the fundamentals. The fundamentals like sleeping enough so that you're not depressed, or eating good food, or making sure to just move and exercise. It's like that notion of worrying about how an Olympian is working out, when really the only thing that's important for you is to just move a little bit every single day. I've realized that we're about 80% covered if we get enough sleep, eat good food, move a little bit, and ideally meditate. Hitting the fundamentals makes reaching your goals, working towards them, getting fun results significantly easier. So just do some freaking squats, some kettlebells, eat some elk, just kidding, and sleep as much as you need to. Don't drink Monster Energies at midnight like my channel partner Vincent. If you're new to the channel, my name is Nikhil. This channel features a combination between comedy sketches and more genuine videos like this one. If that appeals to you, if you've been lurking on the channel for a while and you've been watching my videos, consider subscribing, consider hitting that notification bell, because I am trying to put more and more into each video and make them high quality and valuable. But with that being said, for those of us who are willing to become more valuable through learning, separate art from money, at least to some degree, have a set of daily disciplines, and focus on hitting the fundamentals, to us I say, greatness is coming. Cheers.